how you need to be doing your work. You need to be doing your work and practicing. I prepared for this for a week, and now I'm really good at it. Yes. So we've been preparing all year for this last quarter. And so now you have the ability to get your work done really good. So get that work done really well and make sure that you are getting it done and turning it in. Because if you get it done and we don't get it, it doesn't matter. So get your work done. You can do it. And I can't wait to see what I get in and what you turn in. Wow! Oh! Wow! You can do it. Ooh. Are you ready? You ready to learn the math? Let's go. Here we go. We're on chapter 14, lesson 3. We're learning how to divide things into thirds. And it's on page 595 to 598. Remember, we've already talked about just doing holes and doing circles and rectangles and triangles. Now we are going to be, and then we learned how to cut things in half, and that 2 pieces doesn't mean half, they have to be equal. So now we're going to talk about threes, and the threes must be equal size, equal number. Not necessarily, you can look at different shapes, but they can't be not the same in just 3 pieces. So let's go. Ha! Surprised you, didn't I? Okay, here we go. So, on the first page here, on 595, it says, thirds. Jennifer says that red rectangle shows thirds. She says the orange rectangle does not show thirds because the thirds parts are different shapes. Is Jennifer correct? Well, let's look at it. Very clearly, just visually, you can see that the red is separated evenly. There are 3 columns with the 3 amount of the same squares in it. So that's pretty clear. But when you look at the orange one, it's kind of tricky because they're not even, but they may have the same squares. Let's see. So that's what this says here. See, there's 4, 4, and 4. There's 3 rows of 4. This one down here, there's 4 in each section. See, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then those seem even, right? The way they're cut, but look down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 on the bottom. So they have equal parts. They might not be symmetrically even. That means like if you flip it around, it's the same. But it is the same amount. So it is even. It is divided into thirds. The orange rectangle is split into 3 different kinds, but it is in thirds. Jennifer is not correct. Both rectangles show the thirds. Circles can be split into 3 equal shares too. The example on the bottom of the page shows it. This circle shows thirds. But in a circle, because it doesn't have corners, you can't, in halves you can do diagonally, and also you can do different things for force, but you just can't make any kind of cut on a circle because it's not even, because it's circular. So let's look at the examples that we have here to practice. So if you look at page 596, we're going to see what is in thirds and what is not in thirds. Ha! Ho! Ha! Surprised you again. Just want to make sure you're awake. Okay, so let's look. Is it in 3 pieces? Yes. But is it in thirds? No. Because the one down the center doesn't even have 3 full squares. It's close. But the ones on the sides, none of them even have 1 full square. So you have to look at it and see it's 3 pieces, but they're not equal. So this is not thirds. Now let's look at this one over here. Kind of looks a little tricky, doesn't it? Yeah, but I don't know. We're going to see right away what it is. So we go, this is 1, 2, 3 squares in this one, right? So 1, 2, 3 squares. Over here you have 1, 2, 3 squares. And here you have 1, 2, 3 squares. Ha! So even though it might not be symmetrically cut, there are 3 squares in each section. So it is correct. Okay. And it is cut into thirds. Now, let's look at this one, and we'll see if it is in thirds. Okay, so we have 1, 2 pieces here. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces here, and 1, 2, 3 pieces here. Nope. Only one of them even has, one has 3, one has 2, one has 4. So this is not thirds, right? Not thirds, can't be. Okay, so so you can clearly see that that's not even. You wouldn't want it to be divided like that. So now let's look. It says draw 2 different ways to cut the rectangles into thirds. Okay, so we are looking at number 4 and number 5. So this is something you have to think of how you're going to do it yourself. Okay. I was hoping to find my ruler, but my ruler's gone. So you can do it many different ways. I'm going to show you one way I'm going to do it. One is similar to, the even style. What makes it even? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. So that means we can make 1 section, 2 section, 3 section. Or you can do it this way, 1 section, 2 section, 3 section. It's up to you. I'm going to do it this way. And they will be equal shares. You can use a ruler to do this or something with a flat line. Just make sure it's not something that your parents, that they don't want any markers on or want anything on. Okay, now let's look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me. Just a second. I'm going to redo this part here, Lainey, so when I start this after I've drawn this, you'll need to change up. Okay, here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 in that section. Let's see how many are in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, same thing, it's a 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all 3 of them have 6 squares in there. So they are all equal shares. So we drew that correctly. Now let's look at the next one. Okay, the next one we're going to cut into thirds as well. There's different ways you can do this. There's you can do it you can do it where it's easiest, where you just go across like this and across like this. Or you can do it in like a zigzaggy manner. Like for example, if I do this, and you don't have to do the one I'm doing as long as you get the same number. Now we know since these are both the same, each section will get 6. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So now let's get something else that looks a little different. How about if we go like this? If we go like this, like this, and like this. Hang on. Yep. Okay, now let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That section has 6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That section also has 6 squares. So again, you've done this correctly if you put it this way. But remember, there's other ways to do it. But these are 2 examples of how you can put these into equal amounts of squares to divide them up. This one is symmetrical. This one is not symmetrical, but it is 6 in each section, so it is divided into thirds. Okay, now, let's look at what number 5 says. Number 5 says, Cody draws a rectangle that is made up of 30 equal-sized squares. He cuts the rectangles into thirds. How many squares make up each third? Each third is made up of 10 squares. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have read the answer yet, but we'll go over here and do this. So I have this already drawn. This is drawn into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're halfway there. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So each third is made up of how many squares? So if there's 30 in there, there's a total of 30, and you were to divide this up evenly, that would be 10 squares each. You see how this works? I'm drawing it out so you can see it. Like that. Now we could have done it another way too. That's kind of a way to show how to do it in a zigzaggy way, because that's 10, 10, and 10. Let's try it another way so you can see how it will work. Okay, Lainey, on this, you're going to need to stop the video, break it for a second, and let me get this erased so they won't have to wait for me to erase all of it. I'm talking to Lainey because she'll look at the video. Because it'll take too long for them to sit and wait for me to erase it.
Well, Lainey's not here.
I know, honey, but she will be. She'll be looking at the video. We've been doing this quite a few times, so she knows what to do.
Will she delete my voice when I'm talking?
What, honey?
Will she delete my voice? Because that would be a good idea.
Yeah, well, are you almost done with that project now, or done with that?
I'm on, thank you. Well, I'm still on DNA now.
Yeah, you should be way done with that, because you've been here for about half an hour, so you should be pretty much done with it.
No, thank you now.
Okay. Okay. Now, another way we can do it, by doing it and dividing it up so it's symmetrical, the other one was not symmetrical, but it was evenly divided by tens, is to do this. If you were to divide it this way, this is 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then here's another section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the last section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see if you count by tens, 10, 20, 30. So it is in 30 squares, and each section has 10 in it. So that makes it easier to see. A third is made up of 10 squares each. So now let's see what it says on our number 6. Okay, number 6. Cody draws a rectangle. Oops, I'm sorry, down here 6. Ben says that there are 3/3 in a whole. Is he correct? And explain why. Yes, anything that you have that is the same number is the same number. When you're looking at fractions, you have a thing that's at 3/3. If the number on the top and the number on the bottom are the same, it equals 1 whole. It doesn't even matter if you have 100 over 100. It equals 1. if you have 1 million over 1 million, a million millions equals one whole. A million millions, if you cut something up into a million pieces, it's still, if you put all the million pieces back together, it still equals one whole. 100, if you have a puzzle and you have 100 pieces, you put all the 100 pieces back in it, you have a whole. Okay, if you have 3, then you have a whole. 3 threes are a whole. So the answer is yes. If a shape is cut into 3 equal shares, each square is a third of the shape. So 3 together, put 3 together makes a whole pie, like cutting up a pizza. Pizzas are usually cut up into 8 pieces or 6, depending upon the size of it. And so if you take one out, it's not a whole any longer. But if you have all the pieces together and it makes the entire pie, it's whole, even though there's 8 8s or 6 6s. So that's how that works. So I hope you are prepared and get the next part finished, because you can do this. This is super easy. It's easier than what I've learned to do in just a few hours doing karate, jiu-jitsu, and taekwondo.